My name is Michael Jilek. I prefer Mike instead of Michael. And I'm originally from Antigo, Wisconsin, currently living in Wausau. I came to Stout. My degree is in industrial education. I taught industrial arts from grade 7 through grade 12 for 14 years. And then I ended up changing careers and ended up in computer support. Came back for the reunion. I have not been back since I graduated, unfortunately. And so we decided this year I would come back in hopes that some of my roommates and some of our classmates would be back. But my one roommate did show up that I was very close with. In fact, he stood up in our wedding and so on. And I contacted him and he was coming. He and his wife were coming. So I said to my wife, we're going to the reunion. We had two other things going on this weekend, but we chose to come to the reunion, and then we're going to stay for the game and some of the other activities and just enjoy it. And it's such a change from when I was here. When I started, we had, I think, 1,000 students in the school. We had a little over 300 in our class. And when we graduated, the school had already increased, I think it was around 1,400, maybe 1,600. And so many of the buildings were not here. In fact, we were talking about the apartment that we lived in just down on South Broadway. We were only like 2 blocks from school. We could walk. Well, I think the Quick Trip gas station is where our house was, where we lived and so on. So it's quite a change. It gave me so many good basic skills, both hands-on, like things I can do with my hands and that I can teach, and it showed me how to teach others, how to train others in an interest and so on, and gave me a good basic fundamentals that no matter what career I would go into, I could build off of that. And the faculty and everything was so friendly. They would participate in activities and we could see them on campus and they would know your name and who you were. And if you had a problem with a class, they would set up times to come and meet you outside of class, and you didn't get a student assistant to help you. You had the actual instructor and so on. And so many of them were just such good teachers. You just remember those skills your entire life, so that in my case, where I ended up in working with computers from being a machine shop or a general ed industrial arts teacher, I could do that successfully because of the background that we obtained from the people that were our teachers here. You know, and they were, I suppose they were professors, but we never looked at them as professors. We looked at them as teachers and as our friend to help us. So that was a big thing. And my guidance counselor in high school had just been over for one of the guidance conferences here. And when I was deciding on a college, she said, "Mike, you have to go to Stout. I was just over there, and with what you want to do and so on, that's going to be the perfect place. You should see what they have." And we made a visit over here, and that was the decision. Oh, in today's world, the hands-on education, I mean, that's just so important. And our young people today, many of them don't have that. And our employers that are business people and manufacturers, they don't have the workforce now because the young people, aren't being trained with any hands-on skills. And they know how to use a computer, but they don't know how to do any of the other things. We need machinists, we need welders, we need auto mechanics, we need draftspeople, designers, all of these kinds of things. Yes, the computer can help us, but we still need to have those basic skills and understandings so that the people can then use the computer to produce the parts or to produce whatever they need. And our manufacturers are crying for them because they're not there. And at one time, you know, those weren't considered, you know, real high-paying type jobs. They weren't considered like a profession. Well, today, they're a profession, they're a career, and they're high-paying. Before you thought, well, it had to be a college job or a college degree job. Well, I'm sorry, but today they need the workers, the hands-on people. Our society needs it. Otherwise, where are we buying everything from? The foreign countries where they now have the hands-on skills and we don't. So we need, Stout has got to just grow because of the skills that they can teach here. I mean, it's just so much hands-on, it's just fantastic. Basics. And it wasn't just in our skills that we were taught, but our personal basics that we were taught. How to get along with people, you know, how to share things with people. The human aspect, beside just a machine or that type of thing. But we were actually, you were a person, you were a human, you were treated that way with respect, and they told us how to develop that way so that we could be a good citizen and so on. I mean, that was a big part of the education here also. It wasn't just all shop classes. You better be able to pass all of the other classes, your English, your math, your psychology, sociology, all of those classes. They gave us a very well-rounded basic education that we could carry on the rest of our life so that we could deal with all kinds of people, all kinds of different situations in society. We had that background, we had that skill that they developed in us so that we could be successful no matter where we were. Well, they need to keep in mind everything that they had experienced here, everything that they taught, were taught, everything that they experienced, and don't forget your instructors, so that when you're out and all of a sudden you have this challenge and you're not quite sure what you should do, remember that instructors at Stout you can call on them. I remember I called some long distance. I got this situation, what should I do? They will help you even when you're gone, you know, so you can come back, rely on them. You don't have to solve the world by yourself. You've got good support behind you. Be a good person. And don't be so like uppity. You know, even though you went to one of the best universities and learned your skills and your social skills and everything, be down to earth. You know, in all of your meetings with people, with your fellow workers, your bosses, you know, let your real human background come out, you know, because you learn that and you refined it here.